Hello, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Anahita TV. Today, I'm going to share with you five easy ways to start your meditation practice. Welcome back to another episode of Anahita TV. I help people get connected to their intuitive nature. So, with a meditation practice, what you need is a couple of basic habits that will put you in a mode to meditate. Because with all new habits, we need to build on those habits so that it becomes a ritual. It becomes something that is natural to us, just like exercise. When we exercise, when we start a exercise program, it's very difficult in the beginning. We're tired, we're sluggish, we don't want to get out of bed if you're doing it in the morning, or even in the evening. It's for me, it's even worse in the evening. I can't go to the gym in the evening. That is so difficult. So what I do is set my timer for really early, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I'm more of a morning person, so that I can make it to the gym. So you have to figure out your routine. Everybody's different. You may have a job where you have more free time during the day, or you have a long lunch hour. Whatever works for you, you have to figure out and schedule it in. If we don't schedule it, it's not gonna happen. The same thing goes with meditation. Meditation in Tibetan, the word meditation means to familiarize with. Familiarize with. I'm having a tongue twister today. Um, so you're familiarizing yourself with your mind, body, and your your being. So it's physical, emotional, as well as being mindful, mental. Um, so one of the first things that I would recommend is pick a spot. It's very easy. Just pick one spot. The reason we pick a spot is because then it's kind of like the Pavlov. If you know of that Pavlov story with the psychologist who was training dogs when it was dinner time. He was ring a bell and present the food, and the dogs would run and eat. And then in the future, after several trials, when he would ring the bell, the dogs, he would actually measure. He had a device. It was a very cruel. I'm sorry. Um, a cruel experiment, actually, because he would had a device in the dog's mouth, and he would salivate the dogs. He would measure the salivation. So what happened that over time, when he rang the bell, the dog would salivate even without the physical presence of the food. So this is the same thing. Humans, we are deep down, of course, we're all animals as well, and we need help in and these experiments, take let's take advantage and use it to our benefit. So when you choose a spot, when you walk by it, even if you don't want to meditate, it will remind you of your meditation, and maybe make you feel guilty and into going and meditating. So hopefully you can stick to it. So you pick a spot, like I have a chair in my room, and I have a little cozy blanket. I made it really cozy so that I would do it every morning, because I wake up really early and it's very cold in the mornings. It's like the blanket is so warm, I don't want to get out. So I have a little cute blanket and a pillow right on my chair that I use. Um, so picking a spot is actually very helpful. And another thing I want to help you realize is that how there's churches, Christians have churches, Muslims have mosques, and Buddhists have temples, and the Jewish community has temples. The reason being is that it's the same thing. When people of that religion, when they go into that structure, it makes them feel peaceful. A lot of people just go to church because of the way it feels. And it's actually the over time, the accumulation of all the wonderful prayers that goes on. What happens in the temple and the church? People pray. People are loving. They're kind, even if they are not outside that space. When they are in that space, the mind goes to, okay, I have to behave. the pastor is watching, or the monks are watching or whatnot. So you are being your best self, and when we are our best self, our bodies create these vibration, and the vibration of all these amazing people praying and loving and being kind in a church or a monastery or in a mosque, it all accumulates. So when you go in, even if you are not religious, have you noticed when you walk into a church, it feels amazing? It just feels good. It feels peaceful. One time, a while back, I traveled to Italy, and one of the most beautiful things that we do when you're in Italy, you go into all these gorgeous churches that had been around for a few hundred years. There's a lot of beautiful art in there. But when I start going there, I would respect the space, and sometimes I would light a candle, and it made me feel amazing. It was just such a wonderful place to be in. So that's why we want to create a space, so that it reminds you, this is my spot, this is where I meditate. All right, number two is a really easy one. You want to make it a habit. I think we alluded to this part. And by way of habit, it takes, I believe, 66 days to formulate a habit, but I don't want you to get scared by that number. Try it, give yourself 30 days. If whenever you start counting, you say, you know what, every day for 30 days, I'm going to just meditate in the mornings at 5, for 5 minutes, even if it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes. If you stay tuned, I have a very quick 2 minute meditation that I can help you learn, and uh, and we'll do it together. And it's very easy. Even if you feel lazy, sometimes I just do my meditation in my bed as well. Um, and if you're in a run or a rush, or even in your car, if there's you're parked, you have 5 minutes before work, you could do it. So create a habit. Psychologists basically believe we're not going to do it if it's not a habit. And so I would say, once you learn how to meditate, do it once in the morning, once in the evening. The preference is half an hour each time, but you definitely don't have to meditate that long. That's optional. You can choose your time. You could do 2 minutes to begin, and then raise it up to 5 or 10 minutes. And if that's good enough for you, if that makes you happy and resets your batteries, because that's why we meditate, and it alleviates stress. It also makes us more mindful. So if that's how long you're going to do it, this is fine. Just do that. And then in the future episodes, I will talk about longer types of meditation for sure. So, number three, okay, create an altar. This is optional. I don't, if you're not a Buddhist and you don't believe in any of this, you don't have to create an altar. But again, the altar helps you, kind of like the habit, or the chair that you always meditate in. The altar is another cue that helps you remember to meditate. In the altar, it could be very simple. You could buy a little Buddha from Ross or TJ Maxx. They have them for like less than $10. I have a couple myself. So you could do that. You could add singing bowls, you can add crystals, you can add a candle. And if just nothing, you want to just make it simple, just add a candle. By the act of turning on a candle and sitting, it's again like the Pavlov dog salivation. It, it's a ritual. This ritual puts you in the mood to begin your meditation. So these are all very small but very helpful in the long run, and it keeps you coming back to your meditation. So that's why I'm sharing that with you. Now for number four. Number four is choose a time. If by choosing a time and setting your timer for a specific time, that will help you in the beginning. Because what I noticed for my practice when I began, I would constantly check the time, and when you do that, you are coming out of your mindfulness and your peace, and coming back to the physical, and that's gonna ruin your progress. So what I would do beforehand, even if it's just 2 minutes for the first week, I would set the timer for that much. Believe it or not, we're gonna feel like it's a million years. Even 1 minute goes really slow in the beginning. It's like, oh my God, how long do I have to do this? These are the negative self-talk that is going to happen in your head. So be ready for that. And to avoid that, to avoid maybe even set your time for 5 minutes. And if you see you're, checking your time halfway through, maybe the next day set your time for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and then start slow and gradually build on it until you reach 5 or 10 minutes. So that's my advice on the reason why you want to choose a time. Okay, so the fifth one is basically, all right, we're ready for the fifth and final reason, the simple way to start meditating. This is basically taking in um, a mantra or a prayer. Think about what you are dedicating this meditation to when you begin. So if there is an illness, or if there is you're looking for to change your job, or you're looking for your mate, so you set your intention on that. Once you set your intention, then you meditate. And I have in the past gotten rid of a cyst that was here. I got this is a true story. I can even post the photos. I had this big cyst. I woke up one morning and I had this huge bulge here. And I know why I got it, because I carried really, really heavy bags. And I lived in an apartment, and I didn't want to take the elevator. So I took the stairs up, and it really hurt my arms. And then the next day I woke up, there was this big bulge. So, it was scary, and I didn't like it. I went to the doctor. They said they have to do surgery. And I said, well, I'm very, I'm very, what do you call it? Self-healing type of person. At the same time, I don't like to have a big scar. And I said, it was a small bulge, but the scar would have been this big, she said. And I said, you know what? I don't want it. I'm going to meditate on it. And this is, um, 2014 I was meditating, and I could accomplish anything I wanted. It was crazy. It was like magic. Anything I wanted was happening. And it was all because of this book, and I'm going to share the book with you another time. And I'm going to recommend it to you guys. It's actually not found everywhere, and it's the book that The Secret was made from. All the stuff with laws of attraction are in this book. It's a very old book. It's, I think, written in the 1800s or early 19. Anyway, so I was going through chapter by chapter, and I could create anything I wanted. So I told the doctor, I'm gonna go ahead and meditate and remove this bulge, because I knew it was not, malignant or cancer or anything crazy like that. And then so that's what I did. I gave myself 21 days, and that was my mantra for that, or the idea or thing that I would take in before my meditation. And I said, okay, in 21 days, this is going to be gone, and I'm going to meditate on it. And every time I meditated, I closed my eyes, I sat for 20 minutes, and every evening and every morning, and I just saw my hand being clear and the bulge being gone. And after 14 days, actually, my meditation was becoming so strong. After 14 days, the night before I went to bed, I would, okay, another ritual I would do, I would light a candle before my meditation, and then meditate. So I went to light the candle right before my meditation, and then I was in my head, I was saying the prayer that that I'm gonna be bald, this bulge on my wrist would be gone. I had a premonition, and something in my head, something in my intuition said, it's gonna be gone tomorrow. and and then, okay, so that was when I let go. I was like, okay, it's going to be gone tomorrow. And that's the feeling I had when I went to meditate. And I meditated, and the next day I was actually going to see my cousin in San Diego. I was packed. I wanted to drive there, and then I had forgotten about the bulge, and I woke up and I looked, and it was still there. And at first I got angry at it. Then I said, you know what, we have till midnight. This is the idea I had in my heart, So these things test you, test your faith. You have to have faith 100% of the time. And if pull back, and if you're not having faith, please, go back and try to figure out a way to change your mind to believe and have faith that it's going to happen. So this is what I said to myself. I said, it will be gone by midnight. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to pack, and I'm gonna drive to San Diego, and then maybe look at it when I arrive in San Diego. That was my, uh, that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, as I arrived in and as I was driving, actually, I was dancing, driving, and then I look over, and the bulge was completely gone. And guess what? I I lost track of the car. I was like, ah! I was like, okay, so don't get in an accident just because of this thing you have on your wrist that's gone. And I was really excited, and I know this works. It really does. Meditation works for anything you want. So create magic, my friends. All right, with that being said, I don't want this video to be too long, so let's meditate. I have an easy 2-minute meditation for you. I've got my little notes. So it's actually 9 breaths. We're gonna sit here, but they're long. We're gonna take deep breaths. 3 breaths will be for your physical body. 3 breaths will be for your emotional tension in the body. And the last 3 breaths will be for your mental tension. All right, friends. So let's take a deep breath. Settle in. Hold it. Release. So we're going to take the next deep. This was a free breath. The next breath we're going to take, we're going to think of the physical tension in the body, hook it, and let go. All right? So let's take a deep breath. Release. Give yourself a few seconds before you start your second breath. Your third, for physical tension removal. Now we're going to breathe for release of emotional tension. So take a deep breath, hook your emotional tension, feel it, and then hook it, then release it. Okay, let's go. Number 2. Release. You must be feeling way better than we started. So we're going to do the last 3. The last 3 is for mental tension. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that last few minutes of meditation. You can use that. You can use it to your advantage any way you like, with any body part, any part you need to heal. I have a lot of friends who are unfortunately going through heart disease, cancer, depression based on what happened in the past 2 years. We've had a lot of people with anxiety, tension. So this is a really great practice. You can um, put in, instead of physical tension or any other tension, use whatever you need to release in your body or in your mind. With that being said, peace, love, and abundance for all of you. I hope you're happy and enjoy your day.